You all just have that page available. I'll tell you where I want you to go with that because it's different than last time. Um, attendance, attendance. Who not here? All right. So again, everybody should be logged in at least to that place. I tell you what, I'm going to do attendance after I show you what to do. How about that? So let me tell you what to do. Like I said, there's so many places and things we have to log into. All right. And folks, again, this is for your benefit. You need to be practicing this. All right, so you want to click on that link. Everybody should be already here. Click on the link, click on the green box. We're going to do something different than we did last class. So please follow me. All right, you're going to click on online tools, end of course. And today we want to do the study guide. Yesterday we did test practice. Today we want to do study guide. And we want to do biology. Okay, so everybody should be here. Please type in the chat if you are not able to get there. Everybody should use that link that I just put in the chat, and then you should be able to get here. And we're going to continue. We're going to use the online study guide. All right, so these are a lot of directions, and it's still like the sample. So if you were at the actual test, the proctor would go through all of this with you to make sure that you're aware of all the things that can and cannot be done. All right, so this is different than the other sample test because it also has explanations on the side. So it's taking all of the guidelines for the course topics, and it tells you what you should know about that test. So basically, all of this is information, and you should read through all of it because it contains a lot of the things that we have not discussed yet, but we're going to get to it. One of the things, so this question is about single-celled organisms. And so right here, if you scroll down to right here, the difference between prokaryote and eukaryote. And again, it's important that you know your vocabulary. You need to know the difference between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell, because that's how you answer this question. Okay, you have two students and they're looking at a list of characteristics of an organ. In other words, an organism is sitting before them, and this is what they see. They see a single-celled organism. They notice that it has a cell wall, it has a chloroplast, and it has a cell membrane. That's what they see. Student number one says that this organism is a prokaryote. Student number two says it's a eukaryote. You need to know the difference between the two. So over here in the paragraph, it tells you what the difference is between the two. And based on that, you need to make a decision which student is correct. Okay? All right, so read that for a minute, make a decision, click on it, and then you can go to the next slide. All right, so do that and I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and do the attendance, and I'll be right back. I just wanted to get you started now that I can look at GoGuardian and see whether you're where you should be or not. And I got a couple of people who are not. How did I find which one? I kind of scrolled down to a heading that said difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. And I figured that's what I'm looking for because that's the two things that the student one said it was prokaryotic. student who said it was eukaryotic. So in the list on the left-hand side, I just scroll down and it's after listed under SB4A. SB4A. So just kind of scroll a little bit, not too far, not too fast, and you'll see the heading that says difference between prokaryote and eukaryote. All right. And again, folks, this is not sit back and relax time. This is, we need to study, we need to prepare for this test. All right. No, Charlie. A lot of people missing today. Okay. All right, and I do have focus mode, so everybody should be on camera. Some of y'all stay off camera so much I don't forget what you look like. Okay. All right, Jocelyn, did you see where I found it? Okay, I'll be right there in just a second. Let me, in the meantime, just kind of scroll down and um, look at all of the choices in the left-hand column. Just read the script in the left-hand column for a while. And everybody should do that because I'm going to point out some things that we have not done and that we will spend some time on after the break. Each person. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okie dokie. All right, I'm back. Okay. All right, if we're in this column over here, and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm going to get to this one. All right, one of the things we're going to talk about after the break is taxonomy, and things are classification. There's a system of classification, and things are grouped in according to their structure and function. Okay, so one of the things we looked at yesterday was a cladogram, but everything is divided up into ancient things, so structurally wise, there Archaea, there's bacteria, there's eukaryotes, and these two up here are called protozoans or protists, and these are called eukaryotes. And then we have fungi, we have plants, and we have animals. Okay, eukaryotes, these are the ones that are multicellular. These can be singular cellular, but we can have single cell and multicellular eukaryotes. All right, so we'll get into that in a little after the break. So the two words that we want to find are prokaryote and eukaryotic. Okay, it tells you in the paragraph that prokaryotes are single-celled organisms that lack internal structures surrounded by membrane. They have structures inside them because they need to have things, genetic material. They don't have a nucleus, so the genetic material is just kind of floating around. Some of the other organelles that they have are just floating around. But eukaryotes can be single-celled or multi-celled, but they have cells that contain internal membrane structures. So like our chloroplasts, our mitochondria, things like that, those have little membranes around them. So they are distinct little structures. And that only happens in eukaryotes. They have a true nucleus that contains the DNA. Prokaryotes do not. Okay, so based on the discussion up here in the box, it is single-celled. Well, eukaryotes can be single-celled. It has a cell wall and chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are membrane-bound organelles. So that automatically says it's not a prokaryote. And then they have a cell membrane. Okay. So that one by it in itself tells me that number one is not right. It's not a prokaryote. Number two is not right because for this reason, it's not a prokaryote. And this one, number two, is correct because prokaryotes don't have. So this one says it's a eukaryote. But this is the reason why it's a eukaryote, because is correct because prokaryotes do not have membrane-bound organelles. Okay, so number two is correct, but that's not the reason why it's correct. This is the reason why he's correct. Number one is just wrong. I mean, student number one. Okay, so these are the answers to this box, and this is where you had to choose. Okay, so we made that decision based on what we read, and then over here they give you an explanation like I just did of what the right answer is and what the wrong answer, why the wrong answers are wrong. Okay, so you need to read all of these things. All right, let's go on to the next question. All right, here's some information about bacteria and viruses. So they're giving you information, and then you can make it bigger in case that print is too small for you. All right, so bacteria are teeny tiny. And they're smaller than, this is a nanometer. Nanometers are really, really tiny. You need electron microscopes to see these. Viruses are also small, but viruses are bigger than bacteria. All right, vaccines are used to prevent the spread, and antibiotics are used to kill bacteria. Vaccines prevent the spread, and antiviral medication is used to slow down viral reproduction, but it cannot stop it completely. Okay. Next one, the structure of bacteria, the DNA and RNA float around in the cytoplasm, meaning those are your prokaryotes. They don't have a nucleus, whereas RNA and DNA are enclosed in a coated protein capsule and may have a viral envelope. And this is the reason why viruses can elude being destroyed, is because they have a capsule around them that protects them. Okay, neither one of these have a nucleus. Okay, so that's the information you're dealing with. Based on that, all right, so if you just scroll down just a little bit, you get a whole paragraph about viruses and why they are not considered to be living. They have to be in a living thing. They have to attach themselves. The living thing actually, the cell of the living thing actually replicates the DNA or RNA that the virus has, and then it makes more viruses. Okay, so that's how viruses get replicated. Virus cannot replicate by itself because all it has is genetic information. It doesn't have all the other parts. Okay, so it is not considered a living thing because they are not cells and do not contain organelles and cannot reproduce themselves outside of the host. Okay, so read up on that. All right, which argument about bacteria and viruses is supported by this information? So I'm gonna give you a few minutes to read that over and make a choice. What do you think the answer is? I have no doubt that most of you have already skipped to the next page, and it tells you that D is the correct answer. Both bacteria and viruses are surrounded by protective coating, though the composition of each coating may be different. This is why some bacteria survive antibiotics or they adapt. I think we had a question like that yesterday or whenever it was the last time I saw you. And viruses also have protective coatings, which cause you not to be able to make those dissolve either. All right. And the other two are just incorrect. All right, next question. Relationship between the species phytoplankton and a virus. They have phytoplankton are microscopic organisms as well. They are found, so let's look back and see if they have anything about species. And if they ask the question, they should. Adaptation mechanism. You have zooplankton, which are microscopic organisms, microscopic animal type thing, and phytoplankton, which are microscopic plant-like organisms. And I'm trying to find it in here. Like I said, there's a lot of information on this side here, and it's not necessarily in order of the questions on the side. So you could just spend your time reading this whole side panel, and I suggest you do that first and then try to attack the questions. All right, let's go back up to the top. All right, they don't seem to have a paragraph for that specifically. But again, there's two words that you need to know: phytoplankton and zooplankton, and those are microscopic organisms. They tell you they're primary producers in the ocean, so that's coming under your food webs and food chain questions. And that, they don't have that either. We have to do food webs and food chains, and we're going to have a little project on that after the exam. Okay, so the information you need is going to be here. Scientists developed 3 saltwater environment laboratories. They added equal concentrations of phytoplankton and virus to each one. And then they collect the data. Now, I'll say this. What you need to understand is a phytoplankton is a living thing. A virus is not. So keep that in mind. When they collect the data, relative concentrations of phytoplankton, the virus in each environment over a period of time, and they graphed that information. Okay. All right. So the dotted line is our phytoplankton. Remember, that's a living thing. What do you mean by later? Is it time to go already? Sure is. All right. Yeah, so Wednesdays go quickly. But anyway, we'll pick up on this next class. And then those of you who need to do the benchmark, make sure that you log in on time, and so we can get that benchmark, because I'm going to have him open it at the beginning of class. We need to get that done. All right, we'll do this tomorrow. In the meantime, practice, practice. You can practice this on your own. Bye. See you. Time to go.